It's all good. All right. A few more people joining us here. We'll get everybody in. All right. If you have not popped on camera yet, can you pop on camera for a few moments so I can tell that you're a human being? Thanks. Appreciate it, Kim. And
Hello?
thanks. Is it Javaris? Did I say
Yes,
that correctly?
yes,
Perfect. Thanks.
Javaris.
Thanks for popping on. Got a few more people joining right now, so we'll give it another moment and then we'll get started here. All right. Hi, Deepak. Can you pop on camera for just a moment? Awesome.
Hi,
Thank you.
Gary.
We just have to make sure that you're actually a person.
I'm a person with two hands.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. My name is Gary Darley, and I am your host for today. Abigail is normally our host, but she is traveling back from vacation right now, so I'm taking over for the day. Um, and this tends to be a pretty discussion-oriented group. Um, so to start off with, what is your name? Where are you from? And what do you do in 30 seconds? And we'll take volunteers first. No volunteers, and I'll start calling on people.
I can start. My name is Lisa. I'm calling from San Francisco right now, and this is where I'm based. I do marketing mainly for startups and for small organizations, and I do consulting. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa.
My name is Javaris Tavel. I'm currently reside in Austin, Texas. I'm 26 years old, and I have a business. I run a multi-agent dev agency where I go to startups and tech companies, and I create them full stack web and mobile applications, integrating the modern day AI tools. And I also build web applications and mobile applications for startup businesses, small as well. So I'm here to see who I could, bring some value to as well.
Very good. Thank you, Javaris. Who's next?
Others. Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm in the Chicagoland area in Northwest Indiana, just like 20 minutes outside of downtown Chicago. And I am a transformational life coach. I really just help people feel better in their day-to-day lives when they typically are feeling like they're living a life that they're not all that fulfilled with. So nice to meet all of you.
Perfect. Thanks, Kalia.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Who's next?
I could go next. So my name is Kimberly. I'm from Sunnyvale, California. I work for Plug and Play Tech Center, which is a venture capitalist and accelerator for startups. And what I do there is I handle all the office space for startups and corporations here in our building in Sunnyvale. We have a 180,000 square foot building here.
Very nice. Thank you. And who's next?
I'll go next. My name is Deepak Paul. I'm located in Hartford, Connecticut. Uh, I run a digital marketing agency. What I do is I help businesses generate leads so that they can get more customers, get more revenue. I focus on getting the right customers to the right business. That's about myself. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Deepak. And who's next?
I can go. Hi, my name is Peggy. I am a full-time college student and um, I'm trying to uh, open up a business. And I am trying to learn about the networking and resources. So once I am finished with school, I can just kind of move right into it.
Very good. And Peggy, where are you going to school?
I'm going to school in Tacoma, Washington at TCC.
Very good. I've never run into another TCC grad, but that's where I got my first degree. Yep. Oh, very good. All right, who's next?
Oh, I could cut in here if that's okay. Um,
Absolutely.
Hi everybody. Good evening. Gary, it's nice to see you. My name's Kenny, and my company is Atlas Studios. And so what we do is essentially shine a light on entrepreneur superpower, right? And we do that through marketing, branding, and development, right? So we work with business owners with a growth mindset to either expand, improve, or build something new that complements their brand, right? Whether that be a website, app, you name it. If you can imagine it, we'll do the rest.
Awesome. Thank you, Kenny. I think we only have a couple of people left.
I can go.
Thank you.
My name is Josie Bamba, and my sisters and I, we are financial coaches, and we work with women who wants to change their lives, um, so they can develop the vision, the mindset, and have a financial system to manage their money with clarity, confidence, and with purpose.
Perfect. Thanks, Josie. And what part of the world are you in?
Indiana.
Indiana. All right. And I think uh, Andrew?
Yeah, I will go. Gary, nice to see you again. A couple familiar faces on here today. Um, for those who don't know, my name is Andrew Henderson. I'm a financial advisor with Equitable Advisors. And essentially, I help people, entrepreneurs and individuals, to really make sure their holistic financial planning is working for their personal and financial goals. And I use kind of high functioning digital tools to show people where they're at and how what they're doing is kind of getting them on track for where they want to be.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
And Joshua?
Hello. Hi, my name is Joshua Perry. I'm with JP Digital Solutions. We're based in Louisville, Texas, but we serve in New Orleans, Dallas, and across the U.S. We specialize in website design and marketing. Um, and we help small businesses, even large businesses. So that's really all I have.
Very good. Thank you. All right. We had a couple folks just join. Let's see. Jonathan, did we get you yet? I don't think so. We're just looking for who you are, where you're from, and what you do in 30 seconds.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Payne. I go by JP. I am CEO and co-founder of JP Digital Solutions with my counterpart, Joshua Perry. We're both from New Orleans, Louisiana. We're based in Louisville, Texas, and serve the Dallas Metroplex area and all over Dallas. We have accounts in Baltimore, California, Louisiana, and Texas. We're a digital marketing agency. Uh, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Thank you. Miss Caitlin, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Gary. How's it going? Hi,
Good.
hi guys. I'm Caitlin. I'm Caitlin Rodriguez. I am from New York, but I'm now a Floridian. My story is I'm here trying to change the person who I used to be. I'm in my space right now. I'm in finance. So my wife and I, we own a brokerage. We're running an agency on just giving people clarity of mind of piece of things that weren't taught in school. So financial literacy. So I like to be really, really corny and like to say, how to screw Wall Street, how to screw the lenders, and how to screw the IRS. So we're giving people concepts, right? And we're giving them clarity. I say give them a GPS to their wealth, their generational goals. And that's a little about me.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Nate, I think it's your moment.
Hold on while I post this Discord link.
Perfect.
So if y'all don't know, this group also has a Discord. All right. We talk after about different topics. I just posted the link in the chat so you can join, get some information, share some referrals, etc. And since it's my turn,
What's up, everybody? My name is Nate Dubois, and I'm the founder of Legend Initiative. We shape perception and lead brands to transcend culture. So, if you want to become a legend and dominate your industry, we're usually the team you work with. That's about it.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So every month, this group discusses a topic, and this month's topic is visibility. And we have kind of a two-part question for you here on visibility. Um, what are your most and least effective methods for visibility? And how do you reframe, quote, bad visibility for a gain? And I will put that in the chat so everyone can see it. Um, but please think about that. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, and make sure that you post your information in the chat so everybody can reach out to everybody.
Is the AI recording, is that on my end or is that on your end? It says recording to cloud with smart summary. I think I pressed like an AI button, like recording it.
We usually record these and they get posted to a YouTube channel. So
Okay.
um, there is a recording going on.
Okay.
Yeah. And Peggy, you're really, really faint. It's really hard to hear you. I don't know if you can get closer to your microphone or what.
Is this better?
Mildly.
Mildly. Okay.
Peggy, I can't hear you at all.
Oh man.
Like I could hear it
I
sound
heard
like
that.
yeah, damn.
Oh, shoot.
I guess I will. Let me pull the question back up. How do you? I'll I'll probably want to talk about the reframe part.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of bad visibility, I'm probably thinking like bad reviews, terrible like presence, all that. That's kind of the topic that you and Abigail was thinking about. In terms of reframing it, I think the biggest thing is to get in front of certain things. Like, say if you get a bad review or a bad reputation or a bad customer experience, the best thing is to get in front of it, right? To take accountability and kind of bring people, whether it's a bad customer, whether it's your audience, on that journey of trying to make it right, right? So if you do something bad and it blows up, right? Everybody loves cancel culture nowadays, right? So people gravitate towards negative more than they do positive. So if you get a bad review, if you get bad publicity, whatever it is, it's always best to one, take accountability, whether it's your fault or not, right? If you put yourself in the mind of a customer, nobody cares if it wasn't your fault, right? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that, right? Everybody just wants to feel like they're heard. So, okay, let's say if I give a bad burger out, I do the burger the same way every time. It's not my fault that it's a bad burger, but the customer doesn't like it, right? They're going to leave tons of reviews. They're going to tell their people about it, right? And it's just going to spiral and snowball. So the best thing is to say, hey, I gave you a bad burger. Let me see if I can make it right, right? I apologize for that. How about I give you two burgers and how about 50% off for whoever you invite to try this burger? And matter of fact, since you don't like this burger, we also are planning on launching a new burger, like trying something with new tomatoes, whatever it is. We'll like you to taste test it, right? Free of charge. Would you be interested in that? Right. So it's always try to get ahead of it and try to make it better than what the bad thing was. Right. So if you do one thing bad, do at least two things right, just from a PR perspective.
Awesome. Thank you. Kenny.
I was so glad that Nate led with that. Because my point was gonna be more from the perspective of how you present your brand, right? How you present your company. Like I had this client not too far back. His website was so choppy and so like ill put together. He was scared to even show people. Right? He would show up to networking events. He'll be, giving out business cards, telling people about what he does. He's like, "Hey, can I check out your website?" He's like, "Oh, no, no, please don't do that." Right? So it kind of served as a reverse psychology, right? Because when you tell somebody don't do something, most likely they're still going to do it, right? And so he had all these people checking out his website, right? And his credibility kept getting lower and lower and lower. He's like, if this guy's such a professional, why does his website look like, pardon my French, why does it look like shit, right? And then by the time he came to me, he had already lost, I don't even know, like in the double digits numbers of clients, right? And the first thing I did was, you know, tell him to stop going to networking events, right? Put a pause on that for now. Because if anybody's hearing about what you do and you're giving them information, they're going to want to learn more, right? And if what you're presenting isn't what you are, exuding or presenting when you're talking to these people, then something has to change, right? And so we revamped his website. Um, I want to say we optimized it for SEO, right? We kind of used keywords because he was a family therapist, right? And a couples therapist. And so we started using keywords like, healing, therapist near me, local therapist, things like that. And so incrementally, we started driving traffic, right? And so little by little, he started seeing the change, right? Like, oh, one person clicked, right? 10 people didn't bounce, you know, and they're actually scheduling consultations. And so it got to a point where I wanted to incorporate that into his story, right? So fast forward to we're running campaigns, we're doing ads for him. I wanted him to actually highlight that, right? Like look at how it used to look in the past versus now, right? And look at that transition, right? And people love that transparency, right? The fact that he was telling that story, the fact that he reframed it in that way, right? Um, and so it kind of served to shift people's perspective on him and kind of raise his credibility that much more. So that's just one example.
Awesome. That makes me think about kind of the power of just jumping in and doing and then iterating, 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 iterating. So awesome. Jonathan.
Yes, so we are speaking to the questions of what are your most and least effective methods of visibility, and how do you reframe bad visibility to gain? So I guess I'm a little old school with this. I feel as though there's no such thing as bad publicity. I feel as though you can always turn that curve no matter what type of engagement you're getting. Right now, we see that in a pivotal movement of social media, where people do anything just to break the bridge, and then next thing you know, they're turning that how can I say that perspective around once they have your attention. Don't always agree with that, but it goes all the way to, let's say, for example, you have bad reviews on Google, right? The most important thing is you can't change the experience unless you were there or you care about your business, right? Hopefully you do care about your business, but people care more about the engagement, meaning that I would actually do more business with a business that actually responds to their bad reviews versus a business that has all these five-star reviews with no context, right? So with that being said, you have to pretty much just own the spot that you're in and take ownership of it, because right now with everything with AI, people care about trust, right? People care about the honor and the respect and responsibility of the person taking ownership or quote unquote accountability in such a world right now that in business a lot of people lack accountability. The biggest thing is people care about putting the work forward first, which is great. They don't worry about perfection, but it's after they build that jinky ladder that gets you to the top. Once they're at the top, they totally forget that they built a jinky ladder. So you can always turn that around as long as you care about what you're building. The foundation is great, but you don't want to always build a foundation based off of sticks. You got to lay that concrete down at some time. And that's what separates the true business owners versus the people that just had enough money to file an LLC.
Very good. I tend to agree that your complete five-star rating situations always make you take a step back and go, huh, they're either playing it too safe and not pissing anybody off, or this is all AI generated reviews. So I actually want to see one or two bad reviews in there, but that's just me.
ships their comforts.
No. Javaris.
Hello, everyone. So, just to start off, the way I'm going to answer this question is just more of like accountability, right? You know who you are. You know what you spent years grinding for. You know what you spent those dark days trying to get right at. And first off, you got to take accountability when you come to people and when you say, hey, this is my skill. This is what I'm pitching to you. This is my service. You first need to understand, how do you solve the person's problem, right? Then you have to ask yourself an internal question. Can you solve that problem? Or are you just trying to rush because you're trying to get clientele? So there's a lot of internal questions that a person must ask just to even check off the point of, can I be effective, right? And is this visibility that I'm going to bring this client, is it going to reflect the work that I've done? And is this going to reflect where the client wants to go, right? And if you do it bad, if you have a bad job or don't, perform the way you wanted to perform, it's always good to have follow-ups, and it's always good to just reinsure and say, hey, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm able to do. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna go a little old school too. If you know you can't do something, don't put yourself in a situation to, right? Lock in. Like, go spend hours locking in on your industry. Like, I'm a software developer. I got tired of people saying I do websites. Well, I don't do websites. I do full stack integrations, applications, AI integrations, back end software, front end, database deployment, DevOps. So when I'm coming to somebody, I'm not telling them, oh, I just do websites. I am your one man agency, and I do have a vision just by talking to you. I have a vision just based off the conversation, right? Like, do you, like me? I know that I could, add productivity, right? Because I have a multi-agent system. Marketing teams don't have that, right? So I know I can push out work 10 times faster. I was unemployed for years, using my unemployed hours to lock in on the software development time before AI, with all the handwritten coding and all the nicks and grits that people want to run away from. I lock in with where people run away from. You get what I'm saying? So I know I could bring value. I know the vision that I have, I can give it to you. I'm just that confident because I don't run away from the hard things.
Very good. And how how do you personally find it effective to bring visibility to what it is that you're doing?
Now, how do I reframe bad visibility?
No,
If I
how do you find it effective to bring visibility to your business?
Oh, it's really effective because I'm in a competitive space, and if I'm not posting about what I've learned, if I'm not sharing what I've done, if I'm not speaking about the technical process behind it, and if I'm not trying to be different from what everybody else is doing, then my visibility is going to be either bland or just say, hey, you're just some other guy that do websites, right? So I try to distinguish what I do to just, provide people with more. I'll say, okay, he does more than that, right? Let me have a conversation with this guy. Like, that's where I try to position myself in. I'm trying to position myself where not everybody's at. What the other person won't do is what I'll do. And I'll get farther than what the next person won't do because I can do it. That's it.
Very nice. Thank you. Andrew.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take a slightly different kind of interesting take on the question and visibility. I think oftentimes when people, especially in my business, I talk to people, people are scared that I'm there to sell them something, right? That I'm there to kind of push a product on them, or whatever it may be. And so I think the best way to achieve visibility is to first start by taking out any pressure, anything that might make somebody hesitant, distrustful, skeptical, anything like that. And so, I'm talking a lot to clients, but one of the lines I'll use is, I'd love to tell you about something that might be useful to some people, right? Because immediately you're taking off of the pressure. It's not like, all right, I want to tell you about something that you could use, right? Because then the pressure goes right on. So I think trying to use methods to take pressure out, helps people kind of not see you, not visibility in that sense, but helps people kind of consider what you're doing. And again, if it's not helpful for them, it might be helpful for somebody else. So in terms of visibility, I think it's really important to make sure that you take out pressure. You know, people might have had a bad experience in the past, and so just trying to eliminate the pressure makes it easier to be seen and receive your offer.
Oh, I appreciate that, and that makes me think about Chris Voss, the negotiating expert, and how he positions himself in a very low pressure, low confrontational way, um, but still directs the conversation. So,
Yeah, I love
um,
Chris Voss. He's really effective
yeah,
in the way he frames things. If anybody hasn't seen Chris Voss, it's worth 10 minutes to check out some of his stuff.
yeah. Never Split the Difference is a book that he wrote that I would highly recommend reading. No, Caitlin.
Wow, you guys have all good takes. I want to actually jump on the same take with Jarvis on accountability. I think that the most effective method of visibility is actually personal development. Like working on yourself as an individual, working on yourself as a business owner, because man, if you're in the people field, you need to be good at talking to people. So, and that means like intentionally growing within yourself, but focusing on the accountability, focusing on the growth mindset, right? Leaving the fixed mindset behind. Oh, maybe it's putting yourself out there, getting better on public speaking, or even just like personally developing your fitness and your faith. Like I feel like all those things transpires into your visibility because people start to notice a shift and change in your identity. They're like, "Ooh, like Gary's talking different. Ooh, Kimberly, she looking more nice. Like she's dressing up now. Like what's going on?" Right? When you start put yourself out there is when things start to shift. And in my field, I actually started business really. I know I'm young now, but I got started really early. And so people didn't take me serious at all until I started getting married. And that people, I'm like focused on babies and growing myself individual. And that, oh, Kate's serious now. Like, what's she doing? Right? When you start to really focus on your growth, people start to attend to that and then you start to attract your field, right? You start to attract that audience that wants what you do. So it makes it even more effective. And I feel that the least effective part is not growing. And I know it's a term I like if you're not growing, you're dying. I don't know who said it, but it's always somewhere, right? If you're not growing, you're dying, right? Truly, you're lazy or you stay in your head. That's why people use COVID as an excuse. I'm like, dude, that was like 6 years ago. What's your excuse now? Right? So how do I reframe like bad visibility is to be like to again, that's probably a New Yorker of me, kind of like what Jonathan said, like take the good, leave the bad. Like if you ain't got no bad, that's okay. But to be honest with you, opinions don't pay your bills. So I think it's worth it. It's worth to have some bad taste because you know what? You're not gonna be feeding everyone. That's just how it is. That's my opinion on that because I had to really learn that like I can't please everybody. And because I'm a like such a servant person, I'm a servant leader, I'm like always just like I want to give back, give back. But sometimes it's just the person. I'm not gonna mix with them.
No, that's true, and that's partly why I say I don't trust when they have 5-star reviews across the board. I want to see at least a couple ones or twos, because if you're not pissing a few people off, then you're probably not doing it right anyway. Anyway, Nate. Oh, sorry, Lisa. Did you want to speak? No. You're muted, Nate.
Yeah, Nate, I think you're muted, bro.
That's crazy. Uh, I want to switch to an important method I think a lot of businesses don't incorporate, which is tribalism, right? And when you're talking about a brand and you're talking about community, you're talking about experience, which is if you study a lot of the higher end brands, Fortune 100 companies, they all care about the brand experience. But what they do best is the community that's built around that brand experience, right? Apple people, they started a war, what was it, like 10, 15 years ago? Samsung versus iPhone. Same damn features. The only thing that is separate is if you have a Samsung Galaxy, your messages are green and ours is blue. Whole war, right? But people were going to bat for them, right? And when you talk about tribalism and you talk about growing a brand, the biggest thing is creating a community and something that people believe in and feel like they belong to, right? Because you want advocates, right? No matter what type of client you have, you want them to become advocates, right? You want them to leave a good review. They might not always do it, but that's what you want, right? You want them to show up to events. You want them to tell a friend. You want them Hopefully, you want them to tell a friend. Obviously, if you're good, I will hope you will like them to tell a friend. But you want that tribalism, you want that community, you want that group belonging, right? So I think that's an important feature that a lot of other businesses don't talk about, especially at the small to mid size, right?
No, it's a good point. I mean, we're highly social animals and very, very driven by what's happening around us, which is why a lot of neuroscience and social science points to your success settling in the mean of the group of people you're with. No, very, very good point. Peggy, Peggy, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay, I'm gonna try to talk louder so you guys can hear me. For Andrew, you said methods to take the pressure out. Assuming if the pressure's already there and present, but what methods do you use to prevent that pressure? Did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think in terms of preventing pressure from even occurring, you know, some of the best ways I have found are, you go out and you kind of maybe you got to feel out the person. So, in what I'm doing, a lot of face-to-face networking can be high pressure for people. And so maybe starting the first time you talk with someone, a virtual meeting, or maybe, if you want to kind of take the pressure out completely, um, one of the things I have found people struggle with is there's so many decisions and choices that people have to make in a day, and they run out of the ability to make those decisions. So if you can frame the way you speak with people so that have to they don't have to make a decision, you kind of guide them, towards, giving them options, or, guide them towards a way of thinking that can take pressure internally off of people. That's another thing that I've found a lot of success with.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I find that framing questions so that instead of asking people to say yes, you're either leaving open-ended responses or you're framing the questions so that yes is actually a no. Like, would it be completely out of the question or unreasonable for XYZ um, discussion? Whatever it is, you're shooting for that no response, which is actually supposed to be a positive because we find it easier as human beings to say no, and it kind of lowers that pressure threshold.
Yep. I was thinking about that too, Gary. That's
Yeah,
another Chris Voss thing out there too, but that's a really
yeah,
good.
Can
yeah.
you guys add your responses to that in the chat? I would love to kind of see what your guys' different methods are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenny.
So I kind of want to give a call back to Nate's point about tribalism, right? The first thing that popped into my head was like sports teams, right? Like I know people who will live and die by the Knicks, right? Regardless of their performance, you know? And I think kind of in the mind of the entrepreneur, right? Wherever you're based out of, you can use that foundation to build that community around whatever it is that you do, right? Like whether you're the local, printing company, whether you're the local restaurant, right? Wherever you're based out of, you can start to branch out, right? And even if you got one bad review, right, like somebody said, or one bad customer, you can actually use that to your advantage, right? You're like, oh yeah, nah, come in, come see what we're actually about, right? Um, which granted, there's a lot of trial and error in that process, right? If there's actually a problem, like say you have a restaurant in the kitchen, you have, some old food, some expired stuff, and you have a bad customer, maybe, fix the kitchen first, right? Make sure that you apply the resources, allocate the funds towards making sure that the operation is functioning properly, efficiently, and then you go improve those people wrong, right? So that's a good way, again, to reframe that, right? And sports teams do the same thing, right? If you say they didn't make the World Series or they didn't make the championship, what do? They wait for the next draft, right? They try to get some new talent, new prospects. They try to mix and match pieces or pull pieces from the team to make the team stronger, more efficient, right? Again, to reframe that perception, right? Oh, they lost last year. Oh, wait, they just added this new guy. They might have a good chance to win this year, that kind of thing. So just food for thought.
Awesome. Thank you. Jonathan.
Yeah, so I want to piggyback off of the accountability. It's funny that you all mentioned the accountability and also how you can prevent things, right? So it's funny that you all mention that because here at my company, we actually have something that we do to where we realize that people just want to be heard. No one purposely wants to destroy your business or put you in a bad lighting, right? So again, with the old school method, there's just small nuances you can do, small things you can do. If you have a restaurant or something, just have a card that people could drop in an anonymous box, right? Or in the digital age, what my company does is we send links to people for reviews. And if it's a bad review, it allows you to speak your piece first before you push it to Google. So that way you can get ahead of it before it actually goes out on Front Street. Because again, a lot of the times people, someone's food cold, they don't care about getting their money back. They just want a good food. So you just have a great conversation with them, seeing what happened. Oh, well, you ordered on DoorDash, it was a while to pick up. Of course, if you get a burger an hour later, it's not going to be as hot as it was when it first came off the grill, right? A lot of things when you get to really create a path to be a human with your clients, no matter what type of business that you're in, that's how you create that tribalism with them, right? You create that cult following because when your clients, customers, members, whoever the case may be, feel heard, they feel like they're a part of you. So when you do get those quote unquote bad reviews because they slipped through the crack or someone just had to have a viral moment, that's when you have the people that back you. Oh no, they would never do that. I love JP Digital Solutions, or I love this company here that I've been going with them for the past 20 years. You said your food was cold. Hey, when my food was cold, they gave me a coupon, made me fresh food, and they took care of me for the next time I visited. Right, all depending on what that company's triage moment is, right? What their triage protocol is, right? But it's just about having those. Once you identify what went wrong, you embrace it. You take the accountability and you see how you can prevent this from happening again. Right. So that's just my outtake on that.
Surveys work too.
There you go.
No, I totally identify with that. I have become a Toyota person. All the cars in my driveway are Toyotas, and I bought one of the newer Tundras that's been having engine issues. Um, Completely replaced the engine, so I have a truck that has a brand new engine that's only a couple of weeks old. Um, they they just make things right, and it doesn't matter that they screwed something up because, as Nate said, they have the reputation, they've built the gravity, and I just keep using them because even when they screw something up, they fix it always. Anyway, Nate.
So I'm gonna ask a quick question, and This is something that my professor, way back when I was in college, I don't want to name how many years ago that was, but uh, um, almost over a decade. But he he said this, and it kind of painted a picture of what a brand really is supposed to be, right? So the question I'm gonna ask y'all is, which y'all should know, who has the greatest brand in history? Just throw out
Coke,
some.
America,
Coke,
United States of America.
Coca-Cola comes to mind.
Despite all the bullshit, the United States of
Microsoft.
America is the LLC.
Yes, all right. We got Coca-Cola. Who else? Who else got some gas?
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Okay, who else?
Apple.
Apple. That's a good one.
I would
That's a
say
good
Amazon.
Amazon.
It's either
All right.
Coke,
McDonald's.
it's either Coke or McDonald's.
McDonald's is a good one. These are all good, but
Chick-fil-A. Sorry,
check,
Chick-fil-A is
great
good.
customer service. Great customer service. They're not open on Sundays though. So my professor, Professor Gilchrist, he said the greatest brand in history, who has the greatest brand in history is Jesus Christ. Right? Now, whether you are religious or you are not, you can't deny that Jesus has a cult following. He has a brand. He transcends time, transcends eras, whatever it is. But the way people look at Jesus, that's a whole brand, right? People still go, they have open conversation, right? The Bible makes people feel heard. Church makes people feel heard. Ministers, priests, they are advocates of Jesus, right? When you talk about growing a brand, right? You should want your brand to have the type of tribalism that Jesus has, that religious followers have, whatever it is. But that's kind of how you look at it, like giving, well, what is it? Giving food to the poor, right? As a brand, you can give different stuff, have an impact in the community, right? Don't just make money, but also donate to charities, right? Food pantries. It's not hard to donate a couple cans, right? Open conversation, right? Have people be able to come in, like John JP mentioned, right? Have an anonymous thing, but have that open conversation and make that open dialect, and people naturally gravitate towards your brand and don't want to leave, right? So if you're thinking about growing a brand, look at Jesus as an example.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just want to chime in. I want to thank you for saying that because if anyone paid attention, like my face was cringing because that is exactly what I was about to say, but I didn't want to offend anyone. And that thank you for saying that because that is something that I'm trying to learn is that sometimes you can't be afraid to speak your mind, right? Because sometimes like that's a character flaw of mine, right? I always try to have this thing of like people don't buy from people who they don't like. I'm still myself, but I try to refrain from being on that controversial pedestal, right? And you doing that just like gave me and let me know that hey, no matter what, if you know what you feel and what you're saying has some type of how can I say credit to it, right? Just go with your move. So thank you for that.
Nate, go for it.
JP, you gonna learn quick in this group. We do not care about offending people. Uh, if you met like the main host, she's not here, she's away on vacation. Her name's Abigail. She talks about not offending people and all this. Like, we had to actually have like a full meeting and just argue for her for like 30 minutes of like just say what you want to say, right? So, and that's another thing. I think a lot of business people like they get into certain things and they think, I don't want to offend nobody, right? I don't want to, but the more you speak your mind, the more you build that tribe, right? When you talk about a brand, you talk about Wendy's, talking about McDonald's and their stuff, like they didn't care if they offended McDonald's and people that love McDonald's. They said the burger was trash. The CEO, it looked nasty, right? And they took to it and people started backing it, right? So whatever your point of view, that's you, right? make sure whatever your values is, make sure you promote that. Make sure you tell those stories, right? That builds the relationship with your brand. That builds the leverage. That builds your reputation. And leverage in business is everything.
I love that.
Ah, awesome. Josie.
Okay, I wanted to speak in that same subject. It's very important because me being in the coaching industry, if you're scared to speak your mind, you're not going to be honest with your clients. You're not going to help them to see the circle that they come back to when it comes to the way they spend their money, the way they manage their life. They're not going to progress. And sometimes you just have to be bold and tell them how you see it. And that's the beauty of being a coach. And that's the reason why they came to you. Because in the life that they're living, they don't see that it's the thing that they're doing that get them the result that they get. For them, it's just normal. It's like, okay, this is how I live my life. I spend even before the next paycheck, I'm broke, and so on, and blame it on life, blame it on the economy. Meanwhile, it's just a mismanagement of their money. But if you just sugarcoat it to them, they won't get any result. They will still be the same. But when you speak your mind and you tell them with all the kindness that you can, they like, if they're truly honest, looking for result, looking for doing something better with their life, they will be like, oh, you could be right. And then open their mind to a different way of managing the money, and then the life will take off.
Yeah, thank you. And thinking on these lines, it speaking your mind, there's some presentation to that as well that allows for some of that low pressure that Andrew was talking about and allowing people the space to accept what you're saying too. So, for example, um, let's say that you've got an employee and they do something that's not quite the way you would have done it. You find it a little bit irritating. And if you come at them and like, why'd you do that? Um, that immediately throws up the wall. And even though you're showing an honest emotion, you're presenting it in such a way that can be detrimental to the entire operation, to the approach, to whatever. But if you come at them and you say something like, huh, what made you do it that way? You're taking that why question out and you're framing it in such a way that they can explain what it is they're doing without feeling that they have to throw up the wall or punch back type of a situation. So being open with what you're saying, but thoughtful in your presentation, um, can open a lot of doors that could otherwise be closed. Nate.
Completely agree with you, Gary. And I think the most simple way to think about but like what you just said, marketing, whether it's branding, whether it's any form of communications, your team internally, whatever it is just leadership, right? Business comes down to leadership, whether it's marketing and leading clients to purchase something, or whether it's branding and leading an audience to resonate with something, or whether it's just internal communications, leading a team, right? Everything just comes down to leadership. And if you learn how to be the best leader that you can possibly be, right? It goes to the point earlier about personal development. Caitlin's point, she left. She's cheating on us with somebody else. So so I'm gonna be in the Discord talking to her. But it all comes down to leadership, right? And any form of communications, you need to be able to lead the audience or whoever you're talking to on these journeys. Now, what that journey looks like, it depends on you, but it all comes down to leadership.
Yeah, and communication is just a huge piece of that leadership. It's just it's invaluable and being able to present things in a way that allows people to accept what you're doing. Because as basic sociology, basic neuroscience stuff, if you throw walls or if you throw the first punch, people immediately go defensive. So you have to be very careful with how you present. And it's not to say that you can't say what's on your mind. It's just that there's better ways to say it sometimes than others. Unless you're looking for a fight, and sometimes we are. Kenny.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, Gary. Because I think a lot of the leadership that Nate is talking about and the presentation is about how digestible is it to somebody who has no idea what you do, right? And how do you explain that to somebody? And I learned a lot of it has to do with not dumbing it down, but simplifying it in a way, right? Like I could go all day about how I help with branding, marketing, and development, right? But do they understand that? No. So if you notice in my intro, what I led with was I shine a light on your superpower, right? So that just begs the question, like, how do you do that, right? So even without saying what I do, I'm leading them to eventually what my profession is, right? What my expertise is. Um, and so what I would encourage you guys to do, right, is that when you guys are presenting, right, or when you guys are in a networking group, try to figure out a way to introduce what you do in the most interesting way possible, right? For example, if you're a plumber, you can say, "Oh, yeah, I fix toilets, I fix sinks, I fix pipes." But how much more interesting would it be if you came across somebody and you were like, "Oh, so what do you do?" "Oh, I just stand in water all day." "What?" Like, like what do you mean? You know? And then it kind of begs and brings up the question, what do you mean by that? Right? And then you can go into, "Hey, this is what I do, and this is what makes me different." So it changes how you're perceived, for sure.
I like that. That's awesome. Maybe I should start telling people that I stand in money all day.
Hey, that would catch some heads.
Peggy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that it would be, I don't know if this is kind of going on, but yeah, same. But I was thinking that it would also be helpful for any business to do like personal weekly reviews, um, to like ask themselves like what was the most successful moment within their business and the most unsuccessful moment, so they can keep track of all those things for each week. So throughout the year, they can kind of see where they need to grow and like improve.
So doing after action reviews. Yep, I
Yeah.
agree. Nate.
I was going to talk about what Ken had just said, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago when Mike Barrett was here. Um, but when you're talking about pitch, all right, which is your first form of visibility or content in general, it's always important to hook somebody, right? And a lot of times you get into a pitch, especially if you're an expert in what you do, you're going to talk expert talk, right? You're going to talk about the nuances, the judgment, all these things that nobody really care about, nobody understands, right? All this jargon. So eliminate all that. And the best way to eliminate all that is to try to establish a position when you're talking, right? So what Kenneth said, I shine a light on you, on your service, on your business, right? That's a position that he just established, right? So instead of trying to say, I do this, I help with this, and this, just establish a position, right? Like when I say something, I shape perception, right? That's a position, right? Gary says, I help you grow your, what is it? Your tomorrow bucket while saving it now. But I got
Mm-hmm.
memorized. You always switch it up.
So good.
But that's a position, right? And when you talk about any form of communication, the best way, especially first impressions, is to establish a position, right? A lot of value comes down to the position, right? Perceived value comes down to your position. Whether clients come to you comes down to your position. Gravity comes down to position, right? So focus on that position, especially when you're giving a pitch.
No, I love it. Yeah, I switch it up because I still haven't landed on something that I really like yet. I'm still looking for that 15-second mic drop. We Are Legend initiative. Oh, shoot. Kenny.
No, I was just round of applause because
Oh,
Nate Nate hit the nail on the head.
No, no, absolutely. Well, guys, we are within 5 minutes of ending here. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Make sure y'all join the Discord. We continue the conversation offline, usually talking about the topic for next week. Whether this month is about visibility, but there's different topics within that. So if you want to keep coming back, same link as always, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're not on Eastern time, I don't know what time it is on your side. But keep coming back. Um, we got a large community, right? Constantly growing. Maybe our main host will be here next week. But come back, enjoy, and join that Discord link. There's a lot of resources, a lot of connects, and meet each other offline. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate.
Did
Javaris.
everyone add, sorry, did everyone add their information in the chat?
Does everyone know how to save the chat? There's the three little dots in the little chat box. If you click on that and hit save chat, everything that's in there will save and you can grab it. Makes it easy.
Yeah, I think everybody in here left their info in the chat. I'm just double checking.
And
Yeah.
Javaris, go for it.
Hey, I just want to end off with probably a pitch because I see I have a lot of like agencies in here. I just want to say to guy, I heard someone that was in Texas. I'm currently in Austin, Texas. So, I want to see if, I could be able to join one of you guys agency. If you guys need a full stack engineer, I got to actually code the real technical part of the aspect of it, AI integration, website client automation, a custom web application, no templates. I don't do templates. So I would love to just be able to see who I can collab with in here when it comes down to like the marketing agency of things of that nature. Because I'm starting my own multi-agent dev agency, and I am my business and my 9 other agents. So we've currently been doing pretty well, but I wanted to see if I could collab with others. So,
Yeah,
what's up,
and
y'all?
it's great to sit down with everybody and do one-to-ones. That's where a lot of the magic happens. So grab information, connect with everybody on a one-to-one basis, and go from there. But
Gary, actually, I was kicked out of the meeting at 7:30, so I could not save my chat before. If is there a possibility that I can get the chat before 7:30, 7:30 EST?
let me see. Is your stuff in? Did you put your information in there?
Yeah.
Yep, I see in there. Let me make a note. I will make sure that you get that. It'll probably
Okay.
be after the meeting, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Thank
don't
you.
see anything either that the 3 dots or whatever to save the chat. Don't see anything that gives me that option, at least on my end. Is there a way you could send me the chat possibly, or
Yeah, let me just make sure that I have your contact info in here.
I can add it if you need it.
Uh, yeah, if you can throw an email address in there, that would be great. Then I can get it to you.
I'm gonna throw mine in there as well because I don't have those 3 dots either.
All right, you guys have a weird version.
It's my first time really using Zoom on this
Mhm.
platform, so
Doing it. Yeah,
yeah.
when you bring up the chat in the upper right corner there's usually three little dots. And if you hover over it, it says more. And if you click on that, there should be an option to save chat. But if you don't see that, I will get it over to you.
Yeah, I'm putting my email address. I just have the pop out box and the X.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just have an arrow one that shows like to expand it or move it or something like that.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, I just dropped my phone number and my email in there. So,
Perfect.
How do
All
I
right, nice.
doing this
Yeah,
research?
Javaris, I was gonna say definitely feel free to connect with me, JP and the rest of the other marketing guys on here.
Yeah, I'm in the Discord. I'm gonna hit you up in the Discord.
Ditto. I just joined the Discord too, so I'll be
Nice.
sticking with you all a lot in there. I normally use it for gaming for Discord, so if you
Yep,
see a
same.
different name in there, I'm going to say who I am.
You good? If you play games, we friends already.
Yeah, no, I had to change my name too.
Understood.
It wasn't professional.
Yeah.
Nah,
But all right, yeah, Javars will be
Awesome.
in touch for sure.
let's see what's gonna. I'll
And
hit you up after this.
yeah, absolutely. And with that in mind, guys, usually every week, the host, which is Gary this week, allows me to do a little quote. So this week, in the theme with visibility, our quote comes from Richard Branson, who says, "Embrace the challenge of standing out in a crowded market and let your authentic voice and unique value shine through."
Yes.
And with that said, I'll pass it back to my man Gary.
Kenny, appreciate you as always, and thank you everyone for coming tonight. And Andrew, thanks for the info about Equitable. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Happy to have a conversation.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll reach back out here in a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, stuff.
Great.
All right, guys, have a great night.
All right, guys. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us. Hope
Thanks,
to see some
Gary.
of you guys next week.
Yes.